Welcome to another exciting episode of Real Talk here at the studios of Hope TV Ghana. Today we are going to look at a very interesting conversation. Usually when we have this conversation, it panders towards the women. Abuse. Anytime you hear abuse, is a woman sharing her story. Most often, the woman talking about her husband abusing her physically, mentally, financially, emotionally, you know, all the aspects of abuse. Hardly do we ever talk about abuse and the man is the victim. Society will not even make it possible for the man to be a victim of abuse, especially physical abuse. Society sees it as unheard of. How can your wife beat you? I mean, you must be a weak man. You must be a man who doesn't know his worth. You must be a man who is not a man. You know, we use all these words that just do not sound right if used in the context of a woman. Imagine a woman coming out to say that my husband has beaten me, and then you hear somebody saying, you must be a weak woman. Society will go crazy because it is accepted. Because what? The man is physically stronger. The man is more fit to beat a woman. But when it comes to a woman, a woman cannot beat a man. We cannot wrap our minds around it. But today, that is the conversation we have on our table. We are live on Hope TV, YouTube, and then also Facebook. So please make sure you go into the comment sections and leave your thoughts, your suggestions, your comments as we have this conversation. We always encourage you to do that because we want the conversation to be very, very interactive. And so we are going to delve into our conversation. But before we do that, let me introduce our panelists to you. In the studio with me, my far right, I have Pastor Lambert Nathaniel Kwabena. Pastor, welcome to Real Talk.
Thank you.
How has your week been?
Quite less stressful.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. It's good to have you in the studio. Thank
you for having me.
Thank you for coming. And also sitting between Pastor and myself is Lawyer Justice Adumako. Adumako. I'm sure people get your name wrong all the time, don't they? They always say something different. Yeah. Sorry, forgive me. Adumako. Lawyer, how are you doing today?
By God's grace, I'm doing well.
We thank God. I have as a law profession. Ghana and law, is it going as it's going?
It's good, it's good.
It's good,
There's prosperity at the bar.
Hey. We thank God, we thank God. It's good to have you in the studio. So I'm going to read our story, then we can have the conversation. This story is titled, The Wife Who Beats Me. Good evening, Evie. I am currently in a toxic marriage. I call it toxic, not because of shouting or insult, but because my wife beats me. Yes, she beats me. I can't hit her back, not because I don't want to, but because I am not strong enough. Or maybe I am strong, but scared because I respect her. I don't want to go too aggressive and end up hurting her badly, so I hold back. But she doesn't. When she gets angry, she goes wild. Punches fly. I end up with wounds I have to hide. That whole year before we married, we argued just once, which turned a little heated. In the middle of it, she hits me in the face, but afterwards she explained that it was a mistake. She said she was only trying to hold my face to calm me down, but it turned into a punch. I believed her. I was in love and I wanted to see the best in her, so I forgave her. I thought it was just a one-time thing, a bad moment. But ever since we got married in August last year, it's like something flipped. Now, almost every week she beats me. Whenever she's angry, she doesn't just argue. She throws punches, scratches, and sometimes even hurls things at me. I end up with wounds I have to hide. Sometimes she's so fast, she blocks my moves like she's in a fight ring. I don't know how to say it, but we fight and I always lose. I tried leaving once, but I also realized I love her. So I stayed, hoping to help her change. She even admitted she had an anger problem and said she was going to work on it. I have tried fighting back. People say that once you overcome a bully, they will stop, but I've never overcome her. I am scared of what I might do if I stop holding back. And honestly, she is physically stronger than me. And yet, I love her. She has a sweet side. She's funny, she's passionate, and our sex life when things are calm is great. That's what makes this so confusing. How can someone who brings me joy also bring me pain? But I am scared now, scared she might leave me one day with permanent injuries. And ashamed too. Ashamed because who do I tell that my wife beats me? People wouldn't take it seriously. A man beaten by his wife. I didn't want a divorce. I just wanted her to change. But the truth is, there is no sign of change within her, and I am hurting deeply. Please, what do I do? So clearly from the story, anybody hearing us from home will ask, what? How is this even possible? Is this even possible? Lawyer, Justice, have you heard such a story before?
Yeah, I have.
You've
Have you even witnessed some before?
Really?
Yeah, when I was young.
Wow.
And you see, in Kumasi, we were living in a compound house.
Yeah.
So some of these things, you get to know some of them even because you are growing up as a child.
Wow.
So I have like experience when it comes to women beating men.
Yeah.
And it's not new to me at all.
You know, the talk of compound house, usually, when we're growing up, when we are all in the vicinity, you see that they'll come out, the woman has a cloth, and they are trying to, but usually me, the one that I saw, the man was always beating the woman. Okay. I never saw the reverse where the woman was actually beating her husband.
The man was dropping slaps, like real slaps.
You say that's so funny. That is so sad. Pastor, have you come across, has anybody come to you and said, Pastor, my wife is beating me, what do I do?
Okay, it's not common. It's not common, but I have.
Wow.
And in our line of work, you get it all the time. But we don't really talk about it that much.
That's sad.
Because it's not nothing to talk about comparing to the other side.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't really put it out there.
But it's really sad to know that men are suffering and they can't even say it's because it's not common.
Oh, yes.
And they are suffering silently. How do you have a problem and you can't even share because what, again, we'll laugh at you?
Okay, so I don't think it is not common. It is, but it's reportage.
Okay.
Do we report them? We don't.
So it seems like
we suffer the abuse in silence, most men. Because if you look at the history of DOPSU as we have it now, it used to be for just women and juveniles.
Yes.
Until 2005, when they felt they should change the name to reflect its neutrality. So they had to include men in it because they were abuses of men, but they were not getting the avenue to pour out those emotions out. So I think that it is not that it is not happening. It is just that men are not reporting it.
Wow.
And it's because of our cultural orientation, how we are trained as kids. If you are a guy or a man or a child growing up and you are a boy, is that there are some things you say, even when the thing hurts you and you want to cry, your parents will say that you are a man, so don't cry. So they put that in your mind, even as a child, to entertain suffering, or not even if not to entertain it, to even accept it that you are a man, you should take it in and deal with it.
It's true what
So
you're
silently,
saying.
a lot of men, look at the mad people in the streets. How many of them are women as compared to men? Those in our prisons. Because it's psychological. Sometimes you don't have to do certain things to end up in those places.
Yes.
But because we are refusing to accept the fact that men can also be abused, that is why we have some of these things going on in our system. So they should be encouraged to report, because it doesn't make you less of a man to make a report that somebody has abused me.
I completely understand. You've even answered my first question, which was, can a man truly be a victim of abuse? And why so many people, but why do you think society still cannot accept it that it is true? Because when the story came up and I read it and I shared it with a few people, they said, "Ho, any papa no." You know, they rather ridiculed the man instead of saying, "Ah, what is this woman doing?" But if it was the other way, they would jump and start insulting the man. But this one, they concentrated on the fact that he was a weak man, and not the fact that the woman was actually not being fair.
Okay, so naturally, maybe some of these things, it is nature. Because men come out as stronger vessels than the women. Women and children are mostly those who are the weaker versions of the human race.
Yeah,
so it comes off as weird when a man is on the receiving end. So yeah, so it's I don't think that women want to do that deliberately, but this is something that happens to everybody. So if a woman is now the one who is the strongest, then it comes off as not common.
Yeah. So Pastor, with this story, is it that the woman is actually the strongest, or you think the man is holding back?
No, you see, traditionally, this thing was established in Adam, the days of Adam in Genesis. So man was already made to be that man, to be the Lord over the woman. So because of that classification, it's very difficult for a man to say, my wife beats me. And even if you are stronger than her, because of that tradition that was set from day one, should you dare touch her, whether she started or not, you'll be in trouble. So society has made it this way. The man is stronger than the woman. So the man is to protect, the woman is to survive. Therefore, if the woman is even stronger than you, you dare not touch her. Just allow her. You may, in the story, one thing I realized is sometimes there's actually a fight. It's actually an exchange of blows, not only from the woman's side, but in the end, she's stronger than him, like he stated. So she always wins the battle in the house.
So is this a rare case where a woman is stronger than her husband?
Oh, yes.
Because I will admit that maybe if I'm fighting with Justice, I can hurt Justice. I can actually hurt him. But I don't think I can physically fight you, like blow and win, you know. I can hurt him. I can find something and hit him, and that will make him fall. But it doesn't mean that I beat him and I won. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Naturally, you see, let me pick it from this angle. Man was created perfect. And there's no difference between man and woman. Aside, you know, the normal ones that we know. In strength, in everything, we were created same. So a woman is equally stronger as a man.
I see.
But as we grow up, society has turned the whole thing upside down.
So it's orientation.
It's the orientation that matters. But we have women that can beat men severely.
It's even funny when I hear it.
Women that can carry stuff that even men can't carry. Okay? But because of the orientation we had from childhood, and especially when you grow up in a setting that upholds culture and tradition more than the European style, then you know that, hey, even if your wife is stronger than you and she beats you, you need to learn to keep quiet.
That's sad. Justice, I'll come to you and then I'll ask you, you listed some examples as to why it would be difficult for a man to come and say, my wife has beaten me. I don't know if you have more examples to that, but how can society make it a safe space? And what does the law say on this, for men especially? Is the law the same for women as men when it comes to abuse?
Okay, thank you. So, apart from rape, the law is not biased.
Okay.
Rape is biased to women only.
That it can
in
rape
Ghana,
men.
it is only a woman
That can be raped.
that can be raped.
Oh, wow.
Yes, a woman who is above 18 years or 16 that can be raped.
Yeah.
But if you are a man, there's no way you can be raped. So that is the law. But aside that, all the laws governing domestic violence, they are for both sexes.
Okay.
So that is the beauty of the law. So if you look at the Domestic Violence Act and even our Children's Act and our Criminal Offences Act, which criminalizes certain things like assault and those things, it doesn't discriminate like if a man hits a woman. It is gender, it is not gender based.
Okay.
So
you get the same punishment.
You get the same punishment.
Okay.
So it is up to the man. So some of these things, it is cultural and psychological. It's not the law.
Yeah.
The problem is not the law because the law protects both the man and the woman. We have protection orders where you can even take to prevent somebody from harming you. So if you are in your house with your wife and she keeps beating you all the time as this man is suffering,
Yeah.
you can go to the court for interim protection order
Okay.
to restrain that person from always abusing you physically. So that is the law. The law doesn't discriminate as to women or men, apart from rape, where because if you look at the jurisprudence behind why a man cannot be raped, you understand.
Okay.
Because you need to get erection before you can penetrate.
Yes.
And if you are not in the right frame of mind, the mind will not communicate for the
That
blood
makes
to.
sense.
So there's no way a man can be raped.
I get it.
Good.
Yeah.
So apart from that, the law is just neutral for everybody. If you are a man and you are abused, you can report to the police. But sometimes just going there and making that report is
sometimes the police crowd will be laughing at you.
They do. It's not like sometimes they do, because most of the time those people they are about 90 or 90% women. Those are those most of them are women, but people some people too don't know that the social welfare, it's not just for kids. They are for all some of these things. So if you feel reluctant to go to the domestic violence unit, you can go to the social welfare.
I was just about as any other unit aside of so that you can go to.
You can go to the social welfare.
Okay.
And you can also go to the court.
You can
if you
just
think
go
that it is an unreasonable behavior for you to be subjected to this abuse, it's a ground for divorce.
Okay.
If you want to use that as a ground to get away, you can just do that, so that the court will look at it and say that no, it is not reasonable. So this constitutes unreasonable behavior, and because of that, we are breaking the marriage. So it is also.
Is the process long? Like if a man comes to you and says, "Oh, lawyer Justice, this is what is happening. I want you to help me." Is the process long? The filing. I know people do plenty.
Yeah, there are timelines for serving and the person replying and all this, and then they set the matter for trial. But it shouldn't take a year for you to come.
And can they remove you in the situation while the proceedings are going on?
Yeah, that is what I talk about. So in the interim, that's what we call interim protection orders. So whilst the case is ongoing, the court can give an order that person should not even be closer to you. Maybe in a certain distance. If the person will serve you food or something, like the person should put it somewhere, you go for it. So the person should avoid you within a certain precinct, like maybe 10 meters or something, so that the person cannot have access to harm you. These are orders the court can give. So you report. But you cannot just do that in isolation. There must be something. There must be a foundation. So you make a case. And then the court will look at it.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm sure all of you are learning. I didn't know a lot of these things. So it's good to know that the law protects men as well as women in this case. But Pastor, the church, do you think we are creating a safe space for men to come and say that, oh, today my wife has slapped me, my eye is swollen? The way, you know, when the women come, we will just take care, rally, call shepherdess, this one to come in, you know. Are we doing the same for the men?
We hardly get such reports from the men, like lawyer said. But those that come in, you know, we go the normal church proceedings and all that. But this whole thing is a myth. And one thing that is very challenging when it comes to the church is the church upholds culture, right? Okay. So one way or the other, you may see culture unfold in the church based on some of these things. But it doesn't mean we don't necessarily deal with it. Okay. So we have ways that we do around these things. Number one, so not to leave the gentleman to the public to be victimized or to be ridiculed or in any way. So normally we handle it in our caucus, little caucus. Maybe we allow the Council of Elders to handle it. We do investigations. Sometimes you go to the house unannounced, trying to get to know if the story is actually real. So most of the times we don't really let it out. But in the case of the women, before you say Jack, they have started the story and it's all over. Okay, that is why we all the time hear that of the women than the men, but it comes to the office all the time and we talk about it.
Yeah, and I feel women are able to do that because they know they'll be sympathized with.
Exactly. The society will sympathize with them.
Oh, people will come to my aid, but the man will not even say it.
And in the case of the woman, sometimes we don't even focus on proof. We start to crucify the man before we go looking for the evidence. You see, so it has given them some sort of power to first voice out before people get to know the truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's something that kills the spirit of the man to come out to say, my wife is abusing me. But we do have this conversation, but I think it's high time we do more training. It's high time we talk about it more in the public space.
Yeah.
Let people get to know, Charlie, men are also being abused. Just like we do this breast cancer awareness, let's also do it for the men. Men abuse awareness, something like that. Let's just create a day for it. And then get it out there, yes. Yeah. So that men can have the courage to come out when it happens.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, lawyer, you have something to say.
Yeah. When he was talking, I was listening to him. Most of the time, myself, it will be difficult for me to make a report to the church. Sometimes your matter goes to the board. And by the time you know everybody in the church and even your community. Because where I was coming from, it was like a community church. This is a place where it's more like cosmopolitan. People come from different places. So you wouldn't know what is going on in somebody's life. But where we come from, it's like a community church. So
everybody knows everybody.
You make a report and then the next minute everybody knows about your issues. It becomes difficult. So apart from giving our pastors going through training, I think that they should be counselors as well.
Like certified counselors.
Certified, so that they will be the people to talk about some of these and not the family, the so-called home and family. Because most of them are gossip there, to be honest.
I don't think you're lying.
So me, as a man, my wife has beaten me to go and make a report, and then everybody in the church, like, this is the man whose wife is beating him. Like, it's crazy.
But it's
because men suffer a lot of ego issues. We are looking at our ego, so we always want to protect it. So even if I am suffering, I'll suffer alone, so that nobody knows.
Oh my goodness.
So we should get professionals, like the pastors. It should be a requirement that every pastor, once they are sitting on marital issues, every pastor must be a counselor, a certified counselor by the Ghana
standard.
No, they have the counselors. They have a council or something. Yeah, every pastor must go through that training to be.
So it's basically a requirement, but I think during the training, pastors are made to undertake pastoral counseling, but we are also being advised that in the case where after your pastoral training you lack that specific psychological counseling training, you refer the individual to a professional. So that is there, but most of the time because of familiarity and stuff, they want to do everything in the office. Now we don't really assign such issues to home and family life or even bring it to the church.
And the
pastor with one or two trusted elders handles it. Sometimes the pastor does it alone, and if it's beyond him, should the pastor be a local church pastor, he goes to the district pastor. If it cannot be handled, then the conference executives are involved. So we don't really take it through the board as we used to do.
So this information must be known to the congregants.
Yes. It's good that you're even airing it out here on the show, so people know that there are procedures. You don't just go to anybody and say, this person is elder, let me speak to. Like, what you're saying is very true. After the conversation, some will even use it for pulpit preaching. Then you're sitting there, you're hearing
and you are hearing your story.
You don't know whether you should disappear. Okay, guys, we are still talking about this very interesting story. It's quite sad. We'll have to go for a break. When we come back, we will look at why the woman is so abusive. Is it a trauma response? Is it something from her background? What is causing a woman beat her husband every single week? We'll be back. This is Real Talk. Please do not go anywhere.
In northern Ghana, thousands lack the medical care they need daily. But this August, hope is coming. From August 2nd to 9th, the Healing Hearts Health Mission is coming to Tamale, and it's free. General surgeries, eye operations, dental treatments, hepatitis B screening, and more. This is a mission of healing and hope, but we can't do it without you. We are calling on sponsors, volunteers, and kind hearts to help us serve. To be a part of this powerful outreach, call 0249 193 083 or send Momo to 0249 193 083. The Healing Hearts Medical Mission is brought to you by Hope Channel Ghana in partnership with United Service to Africa, the Liver Cancer Foundation, Ghana Adventist Health Service, and the Adventist Church. Hope starts here.
Hello and welcome to Watch These Signs only on Hope Channel Ghana.
Like in the book of Macbeth, it said, be the innocent flower, but the serpent underneath it.
And here the Bible says Satan is disguised as an angel of light. So we hear, oh, Jesus, Jesus. So you think that because they are mentioning Jesus,
you might think that is Jesus.
that is, you found Christianity.
You are in the den of Satan. Because of what is happening in the world today, the wildfire of occultism is spreading. That is why reigns of ministers are becoming very, very, very controversial, and yet people are using it. The source is not from the Bible.
Besides that, this show Bible discussion is not just for people who profess Christianity, but for all of us.
Welcome back from that quick break. We are still in the studios of Hope TV Ghana, coming your way with Real Talk. If you just joined us, we are having the conversation on abuse. This time around, the person being abused is a man. He's reporting that his wife beats him almost every week. And he's tried to fight back, but he never wins. She has a way of beating him up. She has a way of always winning. And then after, she acts as if nothing has happened. She goes back to her old self. And someone is asking, why are you still with her? Someone will probably ask this. But he's saying that, oh, there's a sweet side to her. She's loving when she's calm. And he also mentioned a very important part. He said when they're okay, the sex is great. So now I'm wondering if that is what is keeping this man there. But he says he loves his wife. But we are going to look into why the woman is behaving the way she's behaving. But lawyer, you know what is funny about this woman? There's a manipulative way with the things that she does. It's like she'll finish beating you, and then she'll come and then she'll call you. He said she can make me laugh, probably crack a joke, and he thinks all is okay. Just for the next week, then she hits him again. Why do you think, what could be the reason behind her behavior? I was just reading in the story and I'm wondering, why is she behaving like this?
Okay, because I'm not a professional when it comes to psychology and some of these things. I may not be able to speak into the details of it. But then sometimes these are people that have suffered abuse when they were young. And it could also be that she experienced it growing up. If you see a wife beater today, it means that his father used to beat his mother as he was growing up. So he thinks that it is a good thing. I mirror a lot of things my father used to do.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Like, I do most of, if I cook today, it is because my father used to cook.
Wow.
And I learned it. So it is the things that our parents do most of the time, the kids will portray it in future.
Yeah.
Because you don't tell a child to do something. They learn by observing.
Yeah.
So it could be that she suffered trauma herself, or maybe abuse when she was growing up, or she saw it being played out and she thinks that that is the norm. That is why a lot of women compare their husbands to their fathers. Why husbands compare their wives to their mothers. You are not like my mother. That's, but it is because they are used to that and they want to replicate same in their marriages. But we should know that there is an end to everything at a point.
True.
That if by reading the story, I didn't get to know whether the man had taken the woman through maybe counseling sessions or something.
She said she has an anger problem and she will seek help. As to whether she will sort out the help or not.
So my advice is that they should, if he wants the marriage, they should go ahead and talk to a professional. Then they will diagnose the lady to know the particular thing that is affecting her so that they can reverse it or something.
Pastor, do you think this is like a deeper issue here? Do you think, or she just loves to hit people? I don't even understand.
Considering the other side of the story, where it seems there's some sort of mood swing. Sometimes she's good when she's good. She's bad when she's bad. Then we want to look at it. I want to treat it in the four angles. Number one, she could possibly be suffering from untreated trauma from childhood. Now, it wasn't addressed, or even if it was, not properly. And then she grew into it and then entered into a relationship. It could be that mommy was beating daddy. Or the other way around. Now, this wasn't resolved. Oh, daddy and mommy are just having a problem. It will be okay. That kind of pastor comes in and overlooks how it will affect the child in the future and try to only focus on the parents, trying to fix that issue, leaving the children aside. So the counseling goes for just the husband and the wife, leaving the child behind. So all this leaves the child in a circle. So when they grow up and they begin to feel a little bit timid, they want to respond. So I wouldn't be there for you to treat me the way my daddy was treating me. So in response, they do what they wouldn't want to do. It just comes naturally because of that. Then another way can also be medically an issue. So let's talk about personality or behavioral disorder. Okay, so it happens a lot. One example would be the borderline personality disorder, which almost happen in adolescence. Okay, so it works this way. When there's an early trauma from childhood and it's not properly treated well, okay, now this is what happens. Per my research that I did, there's always an attachment to it.
Okay.
And there's always a biological kind of vulnerability involved in this whole setup. So probably now, in a minute she knows what she's doing. In the next minute, I love you. You are all I have in the world. Okay, so there are certain, should I say, features that will tell you whether this is a personality disorder. Okay. When the person is in intense fear, okay, of the feel of abandonment. Probably she feared the same thing in childhood. Daddy, mommy fights, everybody is gone, I'm left alone. So in my relationship, when I feel that the man is behaving in that way, I want to react. Because like we always say, the first instinct of a woman is to survive, to be safe. So whenever she feels that way, she wants to react. And when there's an unstable self-image, probably you should know she's suffering from this BPD. And when emotionally she's unstable, especially with having anger issues as prescribed in the lesson. So you will say it as an anger issue, but I wouldn't say it that way because she is not always angry. You get it? So then we are talking about a disorder. If she's always angry, then she has anger issues. But it's almost like a one-time something. There are times, according to the story, she will hit the man, but she's not really angry. So this cannot be an anger issue. Then we are looking at a disorder somewhere. It could be anxiety. It could also be depression. Okay, but all these are traced to adolescent, probably traumas that were not really dealt with very well. Then you may also see the chronic feelings of emptiness. So these are some signs that when you look at it, especially when it comes to impulsive behaviors, you really want to know that, Charlie, this action from the woman is not anything natural or real. There's something behind it.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially, I do this the next minute, not really to say I am regretting, but I don't even remember I have done it.
Wow.
Yes. I will hurt you right now, and it will be like, you shouldn't have brought your leg like that.
Can you
now.
imagine?
So it becomes difficult accepting the fact that it's my fault. Then you know that obviously that is medical.
Yeah.
It goes beyond just anger issues. Then you have to treat it as it is. But even with this one, because they are married, should they have kids, you make sure you counsel everybody in the family. You start with individual counseling. Start with the victim first. Let the victim understand that this is what is happening. You go to the woman, then you go to the children, and the final thing should be the group counseling. Let the parents know that the children are aware of what is going on. And let the children also know that your parents are undergoing some sort of counseling and they are going to get better.
Yeah.
So you put them in that space, and that child will not suffer the same fate of the mother.
Yeah.
So basically, it's not all that like anger issues. We also have intermittent explosive disorders that can also cause this impulse control disorder. Okay. Just like she said, I was just trying to fix something on your
that
face,
one, I
and
think she was lying.
I just
think she
punched
him and she
okay,
intentionally
it could
said
be an impulse control disorder. Okay, probably you did something to piss me off.
Yeah.
Okay, but I am not really that angered to the point that I want to hit you. Okay, but because hint, you know, even if I'm trying to do something, you know, oh, crowd should be crying their ball. You get it. So when you see all these things, you know that, oh my dear, but the sad part is when they begin to have episodes. They are focused on so much aggression that they even fail to realize who they really are in the relationship. Okay, that is mostly concerned with IEDs. Then they know that, Charlie, or no, I don't know any crano. She doesn't really know what she's doing. So if you want to judge her from that angle, you might be wrong. Okay, especially when I tell you I have anger issues. She thinks she has anger issues, but probably that's not it. Okay, like I explained, if it's anger issues, it should be something that should be continuous.
Yeah.
The least thing should get her angry. But it is not when she hates you and she's not even angry and she wants to kiss you in return. That cannot be an anger issue.
Yeah.
That was see a now actual remedy for it. Yeah. So we can talk more about all these things, including power and control dynamics in the marriage. I want my freedom kind of thing. My daddy used to do that to my mom. That kind of thing. Then the little thing she wants to react. Or even lack of consequence. Which in this case,
it's looking like it.
This case, the young man has been enduring the thing, making the lady feel like,
it's okay.
Oh, it's okay, you can do it. Nobody is going to ask you to account for anything. So even if you hurt me or don't see me, so she doesn't feel like she's going to be accountable for her actions. That can even turn her to repent from it. So she sees it normal. I kick this on the floor all the time. So let me use my 16 months boy as an example. He will request for your phone. I want to watch these cartoons. Now, it gets to a point he doesn't really like it. And instead of him bringing it to you, he will throw the phone away. Okay, so I keep on telling my wife, when he does that, pick the phone, try to talk to him, tell him, let him know it's not good.
Yeah.
And then put it back into his hands, and then try to swap through the videos to the one that he likes. Now, if you don't react, the young man gets to know it's normal. Whenever I don't like anything, I do what? I throw it away. And if he grows with it like that, obviously will be out.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And
Pastor, can it also be a hobby?
Yeah.
She has done it. It's not
that's become part of her.
It's true. It's not fighting. It's true. It's beating. That's become a hobby.
Her hobby, like she likes doing it.
Can you
she likes doing it. How can this be a hobby?
That's such a bad hobby.
You were talking about sometimes she's not really trying
Angry,
to do it, but then
Yes.
it comes off as
Yes,
yeah.
yes. You don't call that a hobby. That's why I'm saying it could be a personality disorder.
I
Okay, she's not really in herself when she's doing such things. But in the point of the conversation, where the young man actually get to tell her, they had. I think they actually had a conversation,
Yeah.
and that was when she said, "I have anger issues."
Okay.
Now she was in awareness at that time, and if he had tried to seek external help, he would have gotten that far.
I see.
But oh, okay, you have anger issues. Okay, go and solve it.
But what
No,
about the
that is-
before? You know, usually before we get married, this one he saw
Yeah,
it
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said the year she beat him, and she said, "Oh, it won't happen again." Why do we overlook certain things?
They don't tell the truth when they come for a
Counseling.
counseling. No, they will say these things. Yes,
And
that's the truth.
most of the time, people have the erroneous impression that when I marry this person, he will change or she will change. To be honest, man never changes like that. It doesn't come because I am married. Because if you are dating, it's like a mirror. It will mirror it.
Yeah.
The things I do today, I like reading. I like doing certain things in a certain way, and I'm used to that. I've lived on it for more than 30 years. You come into my life within 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years.
It will
you
never
want me to
change.
change that. It becomes difficult.
Yeah.
So whatever the person is exhibiting, whatever character trait the person is exhibiting, look at it,
Yeah.
assess it, and then know yourself. If you know yourself and you know that I cannot live with this behavior, certain behaviors, then you back out, because that person may never change. Even if the person says he will change, how long are you going to deal with it before that change really comes?
So we never really change.
You never
No,
really change.
we don't change.
So why do we like this man's story? Why did he ignore such red flags? At least, even if he's saying he could have asked them to solve it, at least let's look for the help before we go into the marriage. This guy, is this issue I love my wife, or is it that the sex is so great? Honestly, is that why he's there?
It's not about the sex.
Pastor, are you
so,
sure?
So there are several ways we can actually handle this. Okay. Because I want to believe that even in the dating period, they would have had 1 or 2 sex and all that. So when you become so acquainted with your other party, sex will not really play so much role in the relationship. But I want to look at it from this angle, why he overlooked the red flag.
Yeah.
Now, actually, there's nowhere in the story that says they spoke to a pastor or a counselor or something. They didn't even try to seek help from anywhere. That is one mistake that they did. Now, it was all about the lovey, all rosy kind of experience during the beginning. And you see, when it happens like that, whatever I tell you, you believe it. Yes, we are dating, we love each other. Probably it just started. And then because I love you, you hate me one, I see it as normal. And I don't want to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you allow it to continue, you definitely overlook it because of love. And they will not even tell the pastor, left alone, tell a relative, a father or a mother or an uncle. No. Okay, like we are saying, how do you go and tell your father or Bana Mbabe no Bumi? It's something that society will even laugh at. Okay, so it's so hard, but I will always say that, you should just come out. And especially when we are dating.
Don't lose your train of thought, Justice.
And you hate me, okay? I should be observant enough to see what happens after that reaction, to call it a red flag or not. So if you hate me, and immediately the next impulse is, I'm sorry, you're embarrassed, then I know this thing is not anything that you just picked up from somewhere. Okay. It can be a medical issue, okay, as we have discussed. But if we forego the action that comes after whatever happened, then we'll want to overlook it because of love. Sometimes the victim will tend to blame him or herself. Oh, probably I'm the reason. Manko, can we uncombo? You get it. Then we just let it swap and brings all.
I was about to say that love is an intentional thing. So we have lived in error for quite a long time, where we allow our emotions to make certain decisions for us. And I think that when a man meets a lady in the first trimester, it's like you are not out of that feeling.
Exactly.
So always you feel whatever she is doing, you don't even see it. So that's why most of the time they say love is blind. It is not actually blind. Life is an eye opener, actually.
Yeah.
But we most of the instead of using our mind to make certain decisions, we allow our hearts to take the foremost part of us. They take the lead.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, when the heart decides for you, the brain will also follow.
Exactly.
Unknowingly.
Yeah.
But if you are allowing the brain to make certain conscious decisions, then some of these things you avoid them.
Yeah.
You avoid them. I was talking to one counselor, and he asked me, how long have you been in a relationship? And I said, 3 months. He said, 3 months is so early for you to decide that this is the person I'm going to marry. Because there is a curve. At a point, you get to your pinnacle.
Exactly.
Of that feeling. And now the realities will begin to set in.
Yeah.
At a point, at some point, I felt this man is real. Like, he told me the truth, because when you are in that element, it becomes difficult for you to make certain decisions. Sometimes men, when they haven't seen the beyond the pants, certain decisions they don't take. It is after that, then they begin to be bold and say, oh, I don't like this, I don't. But that time it is late. Because in our part of our church policy is marriage before sex. So if it happens like that, what are you going to do? You're already married.
Yeah.
So I think people should take their time and make conscious decisions. Get to know the person. You may not know somebody like in total,
But at least you know.
but at least you know certain things. These are things that
Yes.
you can.
Yes.
Because the person gets angry and you take something and hit the TV. I'll never marry you.
Because the next time it will be your head.
You can pick a knife and hurt me.
Yeah.
So then, are we saying you should be able to be in a relationship 1, 2, 3 years before you get married?
So when we were growing up, we used to hear stories where my father, his wife was brought to him. My father has a younger brother who went to university in the US.
Okay.
When he came back, they had married.
He was his wife.
They had married for him
Oh,
in Ghana.
the person in the US, they are married for him.
So they told
Okay.
Akwesi Usu, this is your wife. That when you are going back to
You take care of
Accra,
You take
you are
care.
going. Those people have been married for almost 40 years. They are still around.
I heard that those marriages do well.
Yeah,
Yes.
because the parents have done their background checks that we can't do. Because you meet a lady, you are in love. Your father is not in love. He's looking at a potential wife for his son.
Very true.
So if you allow those people to make the decision, they are going to make a better decision for us. Because you see the lady, like Adam, this is the bone of my bone. Because it was the first time God had not even told Adam anything.
Yeah.
Because it's not in the Bible.
Yeah.
The moment he arose
presented.
and saw the lady, he said, now this is the bone of my bone, the flesh of my bone. When we begin to talk, so when you are in that feeling, you see a lady and you think that this is the lady. At that particular point, I think that because of the emotional aspect of it, you are not able to reason up and make certain decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
Because those people, it is the parents' responsibility to find you a wife. Yours is to make sure that you love and care for that woman. And they were living perfectly. Unlike now that we make the choice. But the choice is fraught with a lot of emotional.
But making the choice is biblical.
It is biblical.
Because you have to find a wife, not your dad, not your mom.
Really.
But most of the time, this is why we make.
But I understand it now when I grew up. That they were making the decisions not based on any love or any emotion, but based on what is right.
What is right?
They know the family, this family.
Like everything, logical,
There's
no
no
emotional.
sickness in this family. They don't have any bad behavior. They are not thieves. They look at all those things, and then they say that this is the woman we want for you. Then, because he was to accepted it. And then he went back.
Because he's a good, he's a good
he's
guy.
a good guy.
But I agree
Yeah.
with you a lot, because when the Bible talks about he who finds a wife, it's not necessarily about you going to find a wife. Okay? If daddy thinks this person is good for you, just accept it that way. and then you'll be blessed in that manner. So there's nowhere in the Bible that says that God is saying that you personally go find a wife for yourself. However the wife comes, you have found a wife.
But if I want to be controversial, I always say it is the father's responsibility to find a wife for the child, as God did for Adam.
That's a perspective.
Yeah,
because
I
he
like making
he
arguments.
brought
He brought the woman
yeah,
to him. So if your father thinks that this is a perfect woman for you, you should consider
you should
it.
consider it. Okay. Our viewers listening, this is a very interesting perspective. I'm sure a lot of you are home doing like, hey. But then, you know, that's why we have real conversations. You can also sit at home, look at it from a perspective. It's making a lot of sense, actually. So,
logically.
Yeah, that's where the conversation starts from. But that is not to say that when you find your own wife, that's not what he's saying, you know. He's not saying when you find your own wife, it doesn't mean you haven't found a good person. No. I'm sure people have made the right choices and they're living by it. It's just unfortunate for this guy. But let's look at, so first it was love. But why is he still in it? What is keeping him? They're beating you week on week. It's like rotational. Oh. Every week, if you don't have black eye, your ear. But he's still in there and he's saying he loves her.
Okay.
Is love enough?
I think the guy is actually guarding against his ego being bruised.
Okay.
Because at a point, if you ask for a way out, then you need to tell us why you want out.
Yeah.
The family will get to know your reasons.
Yeah.
And they will get to know that your wife is always beating you. Maybe he's trying to avoid that.
That's true.
Or true, maybe he loves her. Because we are imperfect beings. I read Van Pelt's book, Nancy Van Pelt, and her definition for love is, like, I really loved it from my university days. She said, love is an two imperfect people making decisions to be with each other.
Yes.
So you are imperfect, but if the one who is imperfect is not making any strides to change, to at least meet you halfway, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
That's why initially I said I didn't hear in the story that they have gone to see a counselor or something. They should seek professional help, and if it persists, then we can advise as legal persons to seek divorce or something. Yeah. Or maybe protection order to threaten the lady that, hey, you are living with the man in the same house, but you cannot do that.
Yeah. I think that was even my next question of can she change, and if it is possible, maybe we can break down how they can go about the change.
So it's a process. Maybe Pastor can talk about that.
Can she change?
Yeah.
It starts with self-awareness. Okay, that's the first thing. And in the case where she refuses to accept this is my worry or my challenge or my difficulty, then you know that it's a medical issue. So if she cannot accept to read that this is who I am, I need help, then we force the help on her. Okay. Okay. But there are dynamics around that. If she cannot accept it, then the first point of contact should be someone she really respects a lot. A lot. It could be a family member, a church pastor, an elder, or even a friend. Someone she takes counsels from freely, with respect. You know that saying that we say, so let's find that person and let's channel whatever information we want through that person. Then that is a start. So when she finally accepts the help, then we take it from there. It's a process. Now, when it comes to the church, the first point is the spiritual leader, which is the pastor. Don't go to any elder, no friend, even relatives, no. Now, the pastor is charged with confidentiality. Okay. So he is faced in an angle where, should I leak this information, I'll be in trouble. Will he though? Pastor, will he really be in trouble? Yes, he will. Confidentiality is one of the key principles of pastoring a church. Now, you are the lead for the church. We call it, the actual meaning for a pastor is a shepherd. Now, you are shepherding a flock, and there's an issue, and you spread it. Okay? Now, we don't want to lose that sheep. Okay, we want all the sheep to be in the flock. So no action should cause anyone to leave because of you. That is why you are there to put them together. So when issues like that come, first go to your pastor, who is your first point. That is why even when you are coming to get married, the first person, even your counselor will want you to talk to, is your church pastor. Probably you don't want him to counsel you, but he should be the first person to be in the know of your relationship. So it goes to the pastor, and like I said, you have a talk with the pastor realizes this goes beyond pastoral counseling. Then he will refer you to a counselor, or if your issue has to do with legal affairs, he'll refer you to a legal practitioner, and then they take it out from there. When everything is done at that point, then it comes back to the church. Then we affirm the spirituality of it and help you through prayer. But there's always prayer and counseling throughout the whole process. Yes.
Okay.
As you said, if you are a victim and you want to talk to somebody, like you said, the pastors, they enjoy certain privileges under the law. Like he was talking about confidentiality.
Yes.
If he breaches it, the conference and those who the powers would that be can take him on. They can even revoke his license from practicing as a pastor and all that.
Okay.
And even in law, like when it happens like that, he enjoys that privilege because he's a pastor. And whatever information you share with him, nobody can force him to bring that information out. That is the privilege he shares. So if you are a victim and you are sharing information with somebody, look for people who have enjoyed that privilege, such that they will not go and share, or nobody can compel them to share such information, like the lawyer, the pastor, and those people. They have enjoyed that privilege from the law, that nobody should force you to say certain things about your client.
Okay, that's good to know. That's really good to know.
So always engage a professional.
Even with the
Yes, always engage
referrals,
the professional.
you don't have the right to even give a hint to that person. So just refer. Oh, my friend, I want you to meet this fellow. Okay, I need you to talk to him or her. You know, there's an issue. I think you'll be the best person to. So you don't go because of confidentiality. Oh, you're my friend. Kwesi, but you be your bias. So you say then. Okay, that will not even help the work of the professional, because when you already have an information, you judge the issue differently. So we don't really handle things anyhow like that.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much. Before we go, lawyer, I want you to reiterate what the law says on this, and then your final words for this couple.
Okay. So the law is such that it protects both the woman and the man. So whoever is suffering abuse from the home, whether a man or a woman, must always seek protection from the law. You can report to the domestic violence and victim support units. That's what we call DOFSU at the police station. Most district police stations have department there. So you can go to them. And if you're a man and you feel reluctant to go to DOFSU, you can go to social welfare, where workers are mostly men and women. Unlike the DOFSU, where most of them are women who take care of those things because they think women are more prone to abuse. Yeah, you can do that. And the third is that you can also report, or you can go to see a lawyer or go to court and make your case. They will look at it, and then if they think that it is an unreasonable behavior which can cause divorce, then they will break their marriage. But in our setting as church people, we don't break marriages, so that we hardly do. But since I'm a professional, I need to talk about that one too.
Yeah, of course.
So abuse is abuse, whichever form it may take. Men suffer, most of the abuses men suffer is economic abuse and then social, cultural. So these are things that men should really talk about. And training our kids, we should get away from the old mentality that this is a man, you shouldn't do this. This is a woman, you shouldn't do this. We should train them inside that they are all human beings. So that if a man feels that he's abused, he can freely talk about it. So that is...
Okay, that's good. Pastor, your final words, and then...
Okay, so I would want to talk to the men. When a man finally voices out, or in order to get them to voice out of any form of abuse, being physical, emotional, economical, it's number one, when you get, especially boys, we get to hear a lot. Okay.
He will laugh at you.
Yes, and then we just laugh at you, you get it. But I think that when you get the opportunity that way, the first point is to make the victim believe that you are in their shoes.
Okay.
Okay, so the facial expression, your body language, everything. Even if you don't laugh in your head, don't let it come out. The first point is that I believe you. I understand. It happens a lot. I can feel your pain. Then the next thing is what we call validation. Okay, let the person understand that what he is going through, he is not the first person.
It's not their fault.
Yes, it's not. He's not the first. This is something that goes on a lot of men, and even you can just try to conjure an example, just to make them feel that, oh, okay, I'm not alone. Okay, my story is validated. Even if you don't trust the story, don't let the victim see that I don't trust that story. Probably there could be a phrase or two that could be that Charlie's story where you cry a cooked up story. Okay, but you don't really to do that in the face of that person. Then the next thing is to give a support. Not all financial supports are support. There are other kind of supports, like referrals is a support. So boys, we are playing football, you are talking about your wife or your girlfriend. In fact, let me put it in quotes. I'm not coming to stand here and talk about girlfriends, but so we have started a relationship. So this is what is going on. Okay, so Charlie, I know this doctor friend of mine. He's a good counselor. You don't really need to give details, but maybe you can speak to that in a way is support. Okay, so then the confidentiality, the prayer, and all others also comes in. But the presence is very, very important. Let the person feel that you can actually relate with them. So when we do this, the men will finally come out, one by one. So this shouldn't end with just friendship. It should come out in the media, the public space, just to boost the confidence of men that even though as masculine as we are, and the society expects us to be able to take on anything, we can actually voice out because we also have a voice. Yes. And then I'm very much interested in the accountability. Man or woman, every abuse should be accounted for, even in the area of the woman. It's not like, oh, you're buying, you know, the income is 6 months, you are not 3 months. If the man is going for 5 years, the woman should also go for 5 years for the same abuse. Then it will put the women on track. Because sometimes, bipolar, then they'll just fake it and misbehave in the marriage because society favors them. So let's keep the talk going. And then I believe men will also have a voice one day, whether, you know, with all the macho they can still come out.
Thank you so much, Pastor Lambert Nathaniel Kwabena and Lawyer Justice Adumako. I got it right. If you ever want to reach out to pastor or lawyer, you can reach out to Hope TV, our contact on our Facebook pages or even YouTube. And then we will connect you to them. Lawyer, you can reach out to him for any legal issue at all. He is available to do that. And for pastor counseling, anybody, if you want to just talk to anybody, he's also available to listen and to guide you. So know that we have the right resource persons for you who are willing to help you out. Before we go, I have a quick announcement. Hope Channel is fundraising in support of the Healing Hearts Medical Mission in Tamale. We are raising funds to provide free surgeries, eye care, and dental services for people in need. Your support can change a life. Donate now to Zenith Bank. The name is the Hope Project, account number 6010100134. And also to MTN Momo. Name is Hope Channel and the number is 0249193083. You can make the reference Healing Hearts into brackets HH. Let's come together and bring healing and hope to Tamale. Every donation makes a difference. Thank you so much for watching us today. We'll be back same time next week with another interesting and always educational program. And before we go, I would like to remind you also that we have other content on Hope TV Ghana. So stay and then watch the rest of our content as well. My name is Evie and I'll be back same time next week. Enjoy the rest of your night.